Night, but Tennessee rolled on opening night. In fact, they won by 50-some-odd points. There's Steve Payne, their head coach. He's in his fourth season at the end of the bench, but he's been on campus since 2002 as an assistant. What about the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles? Who do you like?
Well, the one player I do like is Jermaine Thomas. I think there's really a lot on his plate. He will have to direct his team. He's going to have to make good decisions and handle all of the pressure. And that's the one thing Tennessee Tech needs. They need backcourt help and also leadership.
For USC, losing to Portland State 76-68 on opening night. Too many turnovers, 23, but it's a young group, and you've told me it's going to take a little time.
It is, and I think Ivanovic, number 32, is going to have to make really good decisions and be strong inside. And look for him to make big improvement tonight. Certainly Andy Enfield is a young guy that's come out here and has had a great recruiting class, has a good one coming in next year, will be all of his team, and we know what he did at Florida Gulf Coast when he took them deep into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, 2013, the Gulf Coast Eagles, 26 wins. And at the opposite end, Steve Payne, if he wins tonight, that'll be 50 wins for Steve as the head coach at Tennessee Tech, which, by the way, is in Cookeville, Tennessee,
which is where?
I-40. It's near Nashville, 70 miles from Nashville.
Well, it's between Nashville and Knoxville.
Yeah. And that's how you say it, Nashville, Knoxville. So they say it in Tennessee. So for the Golden Eagles, this is a great opportunity, Dan. They come 3,000 miles to play one basketball game, but they're on national television. They're playing a big program in a Pac-12 school. It's not an obligation. It's an opportunity. Chipping center will be Charles Jackson. Charles Jackson's from Sacramento. They have two guys on their team from California, so they have friends and family in the house. The other guy that we talked about at the top, Juan Caldwell, is actually from L.A. and played high school about 15 miles from the Galen Center. SC going to Julian Jacobs, first time down. And Julian Jacobs only had 4 points opening night, gets the first bucket of the evening.
You know what you saw right there, Jim? That's a great adjustment by Andy Enfield and his staff. Right away, the Trojans come down, and Martin makes really a terrific pass over the top, well executed. That's something the Trojans really didn't do a lot of in their loss to Portland State.
There's the guy you just talked about, Jermaine Thomas, getting inside. The rebound, the putback, Juan Caldwell. They call him Poe. He had a team-high 14 in their season-opening win.
Well, early on, Jim, Caldwell and Jackson, they're glass eaters. You got to keep those guys off, screen them out.
It's Caden Reinhardt. Caden Reinhardt, just before tip-off, ran along press row and fist-bumped everybody.
Yeah. Got a Caden fist bump before we start.
He's feeling pretty good about things. He knocks down that first look. He had a three the other night against Portland State as well. His only look from outside.
Of course, Trojans 2-3 zone. Worked on it a lot in practice. They may look to double up on the zone. And one thing you've got to do when you are zone, you've got to do a good job of rebounding the ball. You don't have those man-to-man responsibilities.
There's Jordan McLaughlin. Get used to that. It's what he does every time. He will take it end-to-end. And when he's not driving, they can find Reinhardt. You said he's a good spot-up shooter.
Well, one thing you notice about Caden Reinhardt, great rotation on the ball. I mean, if anybody really learning to shoot a basketball, watch the rotation and the hand movement for Reinhardt, and certainly a good, a good shooter and a good player, good all-around player.
SC's freshman class ranked 12th in the country coming in, and mostly on the strength of this guy right here, Jordan McLaughlin, freshman from Etiwanda, not too far from downtown Los Angeles. Depends on traffic, I guess, but he had a team-high 19 opening night against Portland State. But he also had 6 assists that night, Danny, and that's the number that I really like seeing.
Well, and the other number that Andy Enfield's really worried about is the fact that the Trojans made 23 turnovers. So difficult to win games if you turn the ball over 23 times. Now let's see what you do here in the open court. Under control, be solid with the ball.
Reinhardt to McLaughlin.
Much better. But so far, this is the way USC should play. I mean, they've got talent out there. Just can ill afford to turn the ball over.
Well, when Pat Hayden hired Andy Enfield, he knew what kind of guy he was getting. He knew what kind of style. And he figured that would translate well and draw people to the Galen Center. It is a lot of fun to watch. You're going to run up and down. SC has made every shot to start this game. Andy Enfield wanted a foul inside. His guys had it, lost it. Now they get it back, and Reinhardt in transition bounces one off the front of the 10. 2 SC. SC has come out playing with purpose after losing on opening night. It's got to be a scary proposition thinking opening 0-2 at home. SC won just 11 games a year ago. In transition, Malik Martin. Martin had 10 and 6 opening night against Portland State.
Yeah, Martin's really active in there. I mean, he really did a nice job just to catch the ball and make a play. And certainly the Trojans are not playing tonight like they did against Portland State. Under control, making good passes, solid in the open court, back in that 2-3 zone, working and really trying to take care of the basketball.
Back-to-back possessions. McLaughlin to Reinhardt, and then Reinhardt back to McLaughlin. Here's Reinhardt, and he gets swatted as he goes down the lane with the left. Tennessee Tech steps out of bounds, so SC will keep it.
Well, here's Reinhardt taking it right down the middle, and certainly a nice defensive effort by Tennessee Tech to block it out of bounds.
Javon McKay going up to get it, but SC kept the possession, and now they have a chance at a three-point play. McLaughlin's going back to the free throw line. McLaughlin was 5 for 7 at the line against Portland State.
Well, he had a great first half against Portland State. I thought, was very active, proactive with the ball. The second half, he disappeared a little bit.
13 points in the first half. I was sitting right here when it happened. I thought he actually got a little bit tired. Remember, these high school kids, they're not used to playing 40 minutes, Dan. I know in tournaments they'll play 2 games in one day, but 40 minutes of college basketball wear you down. Get in your legs a little bit.
9-0 run. Nice run so far by the Trojans. Doing a good job of really controlling the tempo of the game. And, you got a point there. The young guys, and don't forget, a lot of these guys have never played together. So you kind of come out in your first game, and they ran into a very good Portland State team that only made 4 turnovers on the way for the whole game.
Jacobs has 4 points already. That's a good point. Portland State did
hard, doing a good job. Everybody playing well for USC.
Sure. Yeah, this game was tied at 2, so it's an 11-0 SC run. And now they can add a little pressure,
1-2-2, doing a good job. As long as they don't score against your press, you can stay in it forever. Because eventually you may get a turnover.
Trying to get that ball down to Caldwell, but keeping it himself was Josiah Moore. Moore's a guy who's going to score in double figures this year. Last year he averaged 8 a game. He had 11 opening night. And their opening night, they were up by 50 points, so they pulled everybody. So their numbers are a little modest. Nikola Jovanovic for SC, the big guy, 32. Caldwell looking for help. Kick it to the corner. Javon McKay. And out to the top. This guy just scored inside. Josiah Moore now from 3. And rebound Javon McKay. Fresh clock. They can take their time. But McKay wants to go right away. Stepped out of bounds. Timeout on the court.
So 1 year. And he's had a couple of, he's got a pretty good recruiting class for next year. And now you get everybody, in tune to your style, and he's got a good nucleus of young players.
Well, this team for SC, and we've said it before, the 12th recruiting class in the country, 12th ranked. They have no seniors on this team, Dan. Everybody that you see is coming back. Shot hit by Elijah Stewart out front.
Didn't take Stewart long, did it?
And Stewart's one of the freshmen in that 12th ranked class.
Yeah, and of course Stewart's electrifying. He can shoot the ball on the perimeter. He's a tremendous athlete. And that's the other thing. When the Trojans substitute, they're not going down that much. I mean, they got guys coming off the bench that can play.
And that is the key. You got to keep the teams in waves. Javon McKay picked up his dribble. Has it taken away. Another giveaway. Here comes McLaughlin rolling. And threw it up high for Darian Clark, but he couldn't grab it. Lost the handle. 15-4 SC. Tennessee Tech maybe trying to play a little faster than they're comfortable with.
Well, and McLaughlin's playing a little faster than he should be comfortable with, because that's the kind of turnover that they made in the Portland State game. It's the first turnover for the Trojans in the game. But McLaughlin is sometimes trying to do a little bit too much.
3 turnovers for Tennessee Tech, just that last one for SC. At the top now, Shermaine Thomas, sophomore from Homer, Louisiana, led the team in shooting last year at 46%. Run a little high-low. They tried to go backdoor on the cut. 4 turnovers now for the Golden Eagles.
You know, it goes unnoticed, Jim, but that was really a tremendous defensive play that time by Reinhardt. You know, you kind of miss that in the movement of the game, but Reinhardt, perfect position, had his hands ready, and he opened up facing the ball the way you're supposed to, and really got rewarded with that steal.
Reinhardt had to sit out last year after transferring from Vegas. Look, some of these guys were recruited to play in the system, and some were already here. They were inherited. A guy like Reinhardt, because he comes from Vegas, they play fast. Will it be easier for him to adopt the system?
He's a very good player. I don't think it's going to be difficult for him at all. I'm of the belief if you can, you know, if you're a pretty good player, it doesn't matter what system. I mean, you'll adapt.
Anthony Morse for Tennessee Tech on the spot-up 17-footer. Anthony Morse came off the bench in their season opener, almost had a double-double, 7 and 9. Reinhardt. And going up is Malik Martin.
Just strength there by Martin. Martin, pretty good rebound, just not powerful enough to take it all the way up to the rack. Good steal here. Now let's see what they do. Under control.
Back to McLaughlin for the lay-in. Nice.
That's the way you're supposed to do it. That's kind of textbook.
And Reinhardt, who made the pass, turned around and tapped his jersey and looked right at infield and said, I need a blow. I got to get out of here. So they're going to the bench early. They're going to bring in a couple of bigs. Actually, 4 guys going to the scorer's table now for SC.
And, of course, the Trojans switch. They've been man-to-man the last couple of times. They started zone 2-3. Now they're going back man and trying to extend.
Jordan Johnson with the miss. Charles Jackson the rebound. And look at all the purple shirts up on the glass. Going to be an offensive foul. One of them was over the back.
Well, this is what how you draw it up. You know, Reinhardt just does a great job to behind the back it and get in the open court and give it to McLaughlin for the easy score. But I thought Reinhardt's been a catalyst at both ends of the floor for the Trojans early on. I mean, he's been solid.
Yeah, he came in with a real positive attitude tonight. He's been smiling, waving at people, and he was here early, and he's been pumped up. I told you, ran by the scorer's table and fist bumped everybody.
Maybe he's really happy to be back home. You know, I mean, not that UNLV's a bad place. It isn't. You know, I mean, he excelled there, but you know, there's a feeling probably that with Reinhardt that he's just happy to be here and wants to play as well as he can.
And Groves just down the freeway in Orange County, dumping inside. Jovanovic got it blocked. Second big block for Tennessee Tech already. Gavrilovic on one side. He was trying to get off the floor, and he's fouled.
Well, Tennessee
Eagles like blocking shots.
The Golden Eagles can block some shots. Gavrilovic, a good job to get it back and try to take it up strong. But you've got a couple of guys with Tennessee Tech that, you know, they're rim protectors. You just can't take it straight to the rack and get an easy shot.
Strahinja Gavrilovic for SC, junior from Serbia. There are 3 guys in this game from Serbia. 2 guys from SC, Gavrilovic and Jovanovic. And Tennessee Tech has Aleksa Hugovic, who we haven't seen in the game yet. All 3 of those guys played for the Serbian U18 team, but not at the same time.
Yeah, Gavrilovic's dad was a very good player in Europe, and Zoran.
Zoran, yeah,
was a very good player, and wore number 14. And you know the story.
Oh, nice.
So Gavrilovic changed his number. He wanted to wear the same number as his dad, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, his dad played pro ball in Europe for 10 years, and now is the Secretary General of the Basketball Association in Serbia. So he's a big name. Stepping in, Juan Caldwell. They call him Poe. On a 14-footer.
Great ball movement by Tennessee Tech. I mean, doing a nice job against the zone, trying to get it to the soft spot right in the middle. They executed extremely well.
Good defensive play. Mason Ramsey came over and just ripped it away from Elijah Stewart. Not only is Tennessee Tech playing quickly now, but they're playing effectively. There he is again. Mason Ramsey. Mason Ramsey had a great game on opening night.
Now Tennessee Tech's going to extend their defense, get into their pressure man-to-man. So McLaughlin, he can handle it.
SC has missed 4 of their last 5 shots, and Tennessee Tech starting to reel them in here a little bit. Contesting everything. I'm going to give that to Darian Clark, and it's 20-10.
Trojans doing a good job of keeping the ball out in front of you. They're man-to-man now. Now you got to screen out, work hard.
Caldwell. Well, he's the returning leader in points, rebounds, and blocks. And it's another guy, he changed his number from 42 to 32.
Now Caldwell is a very interesting story as Clark gets another one inside. He's 26 years old and never played basketball in high school as a football player, and then was working at Walmart, decided to go to junior college, and excelled in junior college, and Tennessee Tech saw him and brought him over, and he was really not involved in school or athletics for about 2 or 3 years after high school.
Yeah, he went to Antelope Valley College out here in Southern California, and actually was 3rd in the state in rebounding. That'll get somebody's attention. Again, McLaughlin tries to lob it up for DC. Darian Clark knocked out. Tennessee Tech. I think he made up his mind before he even got that ball that he was going right back on the lob. You're absolutely right. It was a pathway to the basket.
Well,
unobstructed.
And I said that wrong. It's style points in gymnastics.
Gymnastics, it's not volleyball.
Yeah. Style points in gymnastics, but not in basketball.
Caden Reinhardt is back in for SC. 10 minutes to play in the first half, and Andy Enfield's bunch has just 3 giveaways so far tonight, make it 4 after that one. 23 opening night. It's certainly one of the numbers that they focused on afterwards. Javon McKay working against Caden Reinhardt. There's another turnover, 8 now for Tennessee Tech. McLaughlin going back to the lob to Julian Jacobs. That's back-to-back turnovers for SC. Still 2 for an alley-oop, isn't it, Danny?
See, that's why you have a foul line. If you as the player with the ball come to a jump stop at the foul line, you will have alternatives, and I think that's what Andy Enfield's going to talk to Jordan McLaughlin about.
What he's talking
so he's going to tell him, look, you got to hang in there. This is an area of growth, but we've got to make good decisions on the break. And, he is such a terrific shooter that if he comes to a little bit of a jump stop, he can just pull up and let it go.
Here's the thing with young players like this, and he's a fantastic guy, and he's a raw talent right now. You tell him, you don't have to make a highlight, just make a basket. Charles Jackson goes to the line for Tennessee Tech. This is the kid we were talking about from Sacramento. JUCO transfer from the College of Southern Idaho. He actually spent his freshman year at Lassen College, which is up in Susanville. And before he ever arrived at Tennessee Tech, besides transferring between 2 schools, he had the highs and lows. He shot 61% from the field for an entire season in junior college, and he also broke his leg.
Oh, he broke his leg at College of Southern Idaho, missed the first half of the year. And you got to give credit, really, to Tennessee Tech and Steve Payne. They stayed on him, and got him to commit.
SC is still shooting over 50%, 53 right now. Into Jovanovic, and he's fouled from behind. Charles Jackson called for it. 6 team fouls on Tennessee Tech.
Okay, the Trojans really worked hard in the out-of-bounds play. You see if Reinhardt ends up with it, which he does. That's just how they drew it up, just didn't get it down.
He likes that shot. He hit it early in the game. He's missed his last 2. It goes out of bounds. Enfield and SC thought that they deserved that possession. Enfield's out on the court yelling at the referees. Deirdre Carr, Rick Batzel, and Michael Irving calling it tonight at the Galen Center. I would tell you, Andy Enfield was more animated tonight than he was on opening night against Portland State.
I think, he obviously, he wanted to win against Portland State, but he didn't want to start the year 0-2.
And as you and I learned the first, 10 minutes of that game, Portland State's actually a pretty good club.
Yeah, they are very good.
They played a beautiful game with the turnovers at a minimum 4 for the entire night. That's a phenomenal number any point of the season, but you do that in your lid lifter, first game of the year, and you're so clean, only 4 turnovers. That was impressive. Here's Steve Payne, the Tennessee Tech coach. We had good visit with him before the game. What an affable guy. And they talked about their visit to Southern California. They got into town a couple of days ago.
Oh, he's had a great trip.
Went to Universal Studios. They went out to dinner. And the two local kids, as he called them, the two California kids, he released them to their families so they could spend some time. So nice touch by the head coach. And Steve Payne wanted us to say hi to his two sons that are watching on the Pac-12 network back home, Paxton and Peyton.
Double P.
He said you can stay up late tonight. Watch the end of it. Rebound pulled down by Darren Clark, flat-footed.
Tell you what, Caldwell had a great look and couldn't finish.
But Jackson is a great rebounder. He's so big and long, but he gets big position. He's his feet wide down low.
Trojans back in the zone again. Now, they may look to trap on the zone on the wings. I mean, they haven't done it yet, but they may look to trap up if they get that out. A great pass inside. Well, that was impressive.
Well, yes. Love when the bigs pass like that. That was a bounce pass, too, wasn't it? Big to big.
Yeah, Jackson, you can see he's got a high skill level. He's still got to get a little bit strong. He's got to work at it. Caldwell's missed some insight. Look at this pass. That was really well done.
And he was off balance. Delivered it right on target. What happened to the bounce pass, Dan? I don't see it as much.
What happened to the hook shot? the hook shot and the bounce pass disappeared.
And both super effective weapons. As is the free throw. Last year, Tennessee Tech, I guess a decent team, college basketball standards these days, 68%. Remember when that was a low number? 24-13, still 8 minutes to play in the first half. Tennessee Tech beat a Division II team, Piedmont International, in their season opener, 83-29. It was one of the biggest margins of victory in school history.
Yeah, Steve Payne didn't think they played very well either. He said, we made a lot of mistakes, and we got some easy scores, obviously, but we didn't really play the way he wanted his team to play. They turned the ball over and didn't make good decisions.
I'll tell you what they did well on opening night. Tennessee Tech played some great defense.
You just got to talk to, and you hope that he learns as the years goes on. I'm sure he will.
Well, Dan, you were a coach. A young guy comes in. He's had a lot of success at the high school level. People have told him he's wonderful and he's a special player. He gets to college and he struggles a little bit. You have to be careful with that kid's psyche, don't you?
Yes, you do, as a matter of fact. And there's a lot of psychology that goes on. But you got to remember, most of these players for the Trojans had tremendous high school careers. They didn't lose many games. So all of a sudden now you come in, you play your first collegiate game, and you lose. So that doesn't register.
Ivanovich's free throws gives SC its biggest lead at 26-13.
But Jim, it's a good group of young guys, and they're going to work at it. There's certainly a tremendous amount of talent there. And, look for them to improve as the year goes on.
That is a backhand tip-in by Moore.
This is a high-flying Tennessee Tech team. Trojans got off to a quick start, but slowly but surely, the Golden Eagles are making a little bit of a run here.
Be interesting to see if SC can sustain this, because against Portland State, they played a much better first half than a second. Portland State played an even game opening night. Look at these guys crashing the glass.
Well, yeah, they get second and third efforts.
Jackson with a hook shot.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a jump hook, but they just stayed with it and stayed with it. And it may have been Moore who got that ball down. You look at offensive rebounds, and Tennessee Tech has 9, and USC with only 6. So good job by Tech to continue to pound the offensive glass. There's that high screen and roll. Now that's pretty well defended.
Josiah Moore all the way
USC.
Through. Picked up underneath by Jackson. He had it knocked loose. Here comes McLaughlin again. Never going to stop, and he got blocked from behind. Tremaine Thomas gets the 3rd block of the night for Tennessee Tech, and they're going to get the ball to boot.
Terrific defense by Tremaine Thomas to get that block. But again, here goes McLaughlin. And he's pretty well programmed in the open court. He's either going to lob or to go all the way to the glass. I mean, one or the other.
Where's the pull-up? How about a 15-foot mid-range jumper? Oh, Caldwell. There's another offensive rebound. They have 10 now.
Caldwell's a man in there. I mean, he's a big body and
6'8".
Oh yeah, and he's strong and he's effective and he just stays after it.
Well, and you said before, he is a man. He's 26. Jovanovic out front. I was in college at 26 too, Danny.
Were you?
Yeah, and 27.
And 29.
I was in no hurry. Wasn't hung up on that completion thing. Eventually got it done. Don't forget, coming up at intermission, it's the State Farm halftime report. A couple other games going on. Ernie Kent is out in Pullman now, taking on TCU. And number 6, Stanford against UConn. It's always one of the best games on the women's side.
Oh, yeah, Stanford, UConn. Stanford, UConn women, they got to play every year. Let's play home and home. They got to play home and home. And those games, those games are like unbelievable.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
Gino Auriemma against Tara Vanderveer.
Play it home and home.
It's the best.
It is.
Elijah Stewart thought about it. Back to McLaughlin. Haven't seen SC too many times in the half court. And McLaughlin turns it over again. Maybe just trying to force it a little bit. Moore drops the shoulder. Coming from behind with the block was Malik Marchetti. This is a guy that Andy Enfield told you that you're going to see a little more Marchetti tonight.
Yeah, he's a hard worker, pretty good defender. Jovanovic, I thought that time just held position, did a good job of not fouling. The Trojans just got to do a little bit better job of getting it off the glass. I mean, that was Stewart. He just dropped down from the ceiling to get that block. I mean, that was a tremendous block.
SC lucky to keep it here. And plenty of time on the shot clock, so now they get into their rotation. McLaughlin, there's the pull-up jumper that we were asking to see a bit more of. Tremaine Thomas, backside board. He comes right into the open court, down the middle. And SC's Marchetti called for the foul on the slap. Tennessee Tech is bringing it right back at them.
Well, they are. They're attacking the glass and doing a tremendous job. Thomas that time in the open court, flying all the way down the middle. That's a time, if you can set yourself to... Thomas was not going to stop. And if you could get in front and try to draw the charge, that was a perfect opportunity.
Julian Jacobs coming back in for SC. McLaughlin's going to the bench. Stewart is also out. Reinhardt back in for the Trojans.
You know what I'd like to see, Jim? I would really like to see Jovanovic call for the ball at the low block.
Haven't seen it yet, have we?
And see if he can make a play at the low block, or if he's doubled to go ahead and find the open player. But he's not making himself available as much as he should. I think he's got to try to make himself available so he can do something positive and get the Trojans some inside scoring.
He's a guy down on the block wearing 32. He's open if they want to get it to him. Marchetti turns his back. Jovanovic has to come all the way outside. Marchetti just kept that ball to himself.
So here's a real growth effort for the Trojans. Guard, play, and analyzation of balancing the floor and trying to get everybody on the same page.
That's Andy Enfield's job.
It'll happen. It's a work in progress.
Well,
it's going to take time.
They have 11 guys on their roster that are either freshmen or sophomores. On opening night, there were 6 guys who had never played a game in an SC uniform. And Andy Enfield, after the exhibition against Cal State LA, he was asked by the media, what'd you think? And he said, we had 5 freshmen out there tonight who had no idea what they were doing. And what's the old coach's axiom about freshmen? The best thing about freshmen, Danny?
Well, they become sophomores. that is the best thing. Eventually.
Always love that one.
There's the zone again. Get a good look at it. Reinhardt at the top. 1-2-2 extension. And what you're trying to do here, just force an outside shot and then get it off the glass.
Just like that. But they didn't get the rebound. Mason Ramsey missed from the corner. Tennessee Tech will keep it with 14 on the shot. 11 of 14 on the roster are underclassmen for SC. Look to the right, 3 juniors and 0 seniors. I don't know there's another team in the country without a senior. Obviously, the youngest roster in the Pac-12. So the focus here is on the future, that number 12 recruiting class with the 4 freshmen. And talent attracts talent, doesn't it? Got to be a lot of kids in the country who want to play for Andy Enfield. Mason Ramsey had the shot clock run out. He had no idea it was a 2 when he got it, but in his defense, 3 other people were asking him, Ernie, what were you thinking, getting back in? What was the idea? Why Washington State? He said, I think I can do it out there. So it'll be fun to watch. Ernie's got the energy for it. 3.5 minutes to play in the first half. Jim Watson, Dan Belwamity at the Galen Center on the Pac-12 networks. Tennessee Tech from Cookeville, Tennessee, 70 miles outside of Nashville. Against the hometown Trojans. Darian Clark forces his way inside, and now will walk to the free throw line.
Well, it wasn't Jovanovic, but it certainly was Darian Clark. And coming out of that timeout, the Trojans really executed well and got the ball down low and, did a little bit of damage. And, they certainly have Tennessee Tech in foul problems. And the Trojans have only committed 14 fouls in the first half. So they've got opportunities to get aggressive, go for the ball, look for steals, because the Golden Eagles are not going to be shooting free throws unless they're fouled in the act. So it's a good opportunity for USC now in the last 3 minutes to really get aggressive defensively.
Any SC fans looking in, just joining us, I'll give you good news and bad news. The bad news, SC hasn't made a field goal in more than 7 minutes. Good news, they're ahead 28-19. How's that happening? Making free throws, playing a little defense. Thomas back to the top. They have plenty of time here. Mason Ramsey falling down inside. He was tripped. Malik Marquetti is going to get called for it unintentionally. Mike Yam is on the desk tonight. At the break, we'll send it back to San Francisco. The State Farm halftime report. We're just talking about Ernie Kent and the Cougars taking on TCU. And, of course, that epic women's battle, number 6 Stanford. And, well, shouldn't they just etch number 1 next to UConn's name?
Well, yeah. Well, you can, but, Tara Vanderveer may have something to say about it. So it's always been a tremendous
Tara's
rivalry.
won over 1,000 games.
How many?
1,000.
1,000.
I don't know that I've seen 1,000 games.
How many again?
It's just a ridiculous number.
That is.
First time into the game for Tennessee Tech is Alexa Hugovic. He just took that shot, one of the Serbian players. 3 in the game tonight. Reinhardt is going to wave that shot off. Foul inside on SC. They got Jovanovic reaching around and grabbing.
Yeah, I think Jovanovic was trying to get position inside, and in rhythm from the perimeter was Reinhardt.
Watch
you look at him low. He's
reaching back
a little bit.
He'll tell you that he was being grabbed himself.
In Serbia, that's not a foul.
Not a foul in the NBA.
No way.
Be a foul in conference season. Moving the ball well. Mason Ramsey inside. Wow, he got blocked. Darian Clark. Here comes Julian Jacobs. The kick to McLaughlin. Open look for 3. Rolled out. Malik Martin got the rebound, and he's fouled. So SC still hasn't made a field goal since the 10:38 mark, but they keep making free throws.
Pretty good defense inside by USC. And just and Darian Clark just coming from the weak side to deflect that ball and initiate the break. So good job by the Trojans, and kind of negated that easy score around the rim. Mason Ramsey, when he did receive the ball, did not see Clark coming, that's for sure.
That was the 14th free throw of the game shot by USC, the first by Malik Martin. SC is 9 for 14 from the line. Last year, SC was just a 67% free throw shooting team. They really have to bump all of their numbers. I'll tell you one of the most important, 3-point shooting. They were abysmal last year, 29%. You got to be in mid-30s at least.
Well, yeah, I think you have to be, you do. You have to be at least, 34 to 36% from 3, and you're in pretty good shape.
Hugovic. Back to the top, Jermaine Thomas. I look at Reinhardt go and pull it down. Reinhardt, 11 points opening night. Started off blazing in this game and went to the bench for a couple of minutes, and now is trying to heat up again. Jermaine Thomas, one more with a teardrop in the lane.
And Jacobs' unforced turnover results in an easy score for Tennessee Tech. So With 1:42 left in the first half, this is really important for the Trojans now to dictate the tempo, run their offense, see if you can go inside to out, try to get some quality shots.
It's 9 minutes.
And execute.
9 minutes since they made a basket, Dan. And McLaughlin falling down, turns it over. Chance here for Tennessee Tech to get close before the half. Playing catch outside. They're 0 for 3 from 10.
That was great ball movement. I mean, the Golden Eagles did a terrific job of moving the ball, about 7 touches on it. And it was that Hugovich in the corner who gets that long J.
We cleaned that up. They were 0 for 10 from 3. Had the numbers transposed. So that was their first three-pointer of the game. SC may close out this half going almost 11 minutes without a basket. All the way down the lane. Knocked out Torrance Rowe.
I like that proactivity by Tennessee Tech. It's like going 2 for 1. You know, I mean, they go ahead and take it all the way to the rim. And this is just great ball movement. This is, you know, Hugovich just making a long jumper in the corner, but about 5 guys touched the ball and selfishly gave it up. And Alexei in good position to knock that one down.
29-24 SC, but Tennessee Tech is in the midst of an 11-3 run.
I think you shoot it quick here. Try to go 2 for 1 if you can. If you get a quick shot up, they might be able to do it. Go ahead, take it in.
There goes Thomas.
They still should have an opportunity.
And that should be Tennessee Tech's ball. It went off Julian Jacobs' leg. So now they can essentially hold for the last shot.
Be interesting to see if they do hold for the last shot down 5. They made a great run. Trojans see if they zone it up on the out of bounds, play man-to-man. Looks like they're going to play it man-to-man. See if the Golden Eagles bring it all the way out and do run it down for the final shot. I kind of think if you're down 5, you're playing well. Why? If you got a good shot, take it.
Just like that. Thomas had to redirect because Jacobs got up and got a piece of it. Ball's loose underneath. Mason Ramsey able to get it. Now the shot clock's off. There's 20 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, now it looks like they may play for the last shot. That's going to be an unbelievable momentum boost for Tennessee Tech if they could score. The Trojans have not had a field goal in
10.5 minutes.
Yeah, almost 11 minutes. See, is he going to make another one? Nope. I thought that was down. Yeah, good look at it.
So they're 1 for 12 from 3, but they're right back in the game. USC missed its last 8 field goals. And for Andy Enfield and these guys, they got to wonder what's going on. They went over 10 minutes without scoring a basket. Andy Enfield, you saw the look on his face as he was heading to the locker room. That is not what he wanted on night number 2 of the young season with all these freshmen. Got to take care of the basketball. Got to make better decisions. Halftime, 29-24. We'll send you back to San Francisco. State Farm Halftime Report and Mike Yam.
I taught you to do, okay?
Too good. Keep paddling. Life insurance from New York Life can help your family keep good going.
Dear Safari Guides, London Cabbies, Vintners, dear surf instructors, Venetian cobblers, and footballers. Dear world, we can't wait to meet you. Chase Sapphire Preferred, with no foreign transaction fees and 2 times points on travel and dining at restaurants. There's no reason not to explore.
Chase Sapphire Preferred, so you can.
Between you and me, they're strange creatures.
They are.
They don't think like you and I.
You know it.
They ignore us.
Totally.
It's like we're only here to serve them.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
But then they turn around and fill you up with Chevron with Techron.
I guess we're doing something right.
Yeah, but come on. Humans are weird.
Your car takes care of you. Care for it. Chevron with Techron. Care for your car.
And what's up with the cat?
Got my eye on him.
Got him in group as a go.
Yeah! Not just a startup, an upstart. Gotta get going.
Gotta be good.
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 Growth is the goal. How do we do that?
I talked to UPS. They'll help us out. New technology, smart advice. We focus on the business, and they take care of the logistics.
UPS.
Good going.
We get good, That's great.
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 Great. Great. Great.
I love logistics.
Are you okay, Mom? Yes, I am.
Life insurance from New York Life can help your family keep good going.
Just a 5-point advantage for USC at the break. Welcome inside our San Francisco studios for the State Farm Halftime Report. I'm Mike Yam. While USC has been in action, there was an absolutely fantastic game at Stanford. Maples Pavilion is where we take you, where it was UConn matching up against Tara Vanderveer and this Cardinal squad. Gino Auriemma, obviously, those two go way back. Jim Harbaugh also there. Amber Orange, though, under 5 seconds to play, bearing a huge three, tying the game at 77. At that moment, Ashley Adamson and I in our office just yelling, and you can understand the excitement. Orange again, 17 points, 4 assists. Cardinal up 1 after the bucket, after one Stanford free throw. Coming down to the wire, I'll tell you what, you got to shoot the ball, don't you? Lily Thompson, a game-high 24 points. The Cardinals snap UConn's 47-game winning streak. Back to men's hoops. Washington State and TCU. There's Ernie Kent, our former colleague. First half, his team was down 10. Devontae Lacey, though, trying to lead the charge in the corner. And for Coach Kent, that's his biggest offensive threat at 15 points in that open. Remember, it was a loss to UTEP. Lacey, 11 points here. Carnage Williams cleaning it up. Put back dunk for him. TCU up 17 here. And Williams, again, check it. You can make it 19. He had 9 points, 10 rebounds. Washington State shot just 35% from the floor. Only had 2 players in double figures. Watched it a little bit earlier here on the Pac-12 networks. Team Cookman and Arizona State. There's Herb Sinnick. Remember, they won the opener on Full Court Friday, just saying. Art Jacobson, by the way, 13 points, 3 of 4 from the floor, had 10 rebounds in this one. Jonathan Gilling, usually when he's behind the line, he doesn't miss. 11 points, 3 of 5 from downtown. I guess he did miss 2 threes in this game. Also had 6 rebounds. Sun Devils up 17. Bo Barnes, buckets. Barnes had 8 in this one.
And we know Caldwell is a big-time scorer. He only had 6 in the first half. But if you're Tennessee Tech, you got to be energized. I mean, you were out of this game.
That's right.
And you made a pretty good run at the end of the first half to make it very competitive.
It's a really good point. They had to feel good about themselves as they ran into the locker room. SC was walking. By the way, SC played 9 guys in the first half, and every one of them scored.
And right away to start the second half, they're going to get Caldwell involved. And you can bet at halftime, Tennessee Tech talked about getting the ball inside to Caldwell and see if he can make some things happen. Juan Caldwell is an excellent around-the-basket player. Should be their leading scorer this year and definitely the focal point of this team. So they want to start strong the second half and see if they can close the gap.
Antoine Caldwell, a local product from Lusinger High School. That was one of the guys that Steve Payne let go, spend some time with his family while the rest of the team went to Universal Studios and toured Southern California. They went over to the Santa Monica Pier and took a walk in the sunshine. What do you say? It was like 26 degrees back in Cookeville, Tennessee.
It was not real warm.
Yeah, let these guys walk around in the sunshine. It was 72 today in Santa Monica. McLaughlin. And he's going to take some shots like that. Danny, years ago I was here when O.J. Mayo came through here for a few months, and he was a similar type of player, taking some wild shots.
Well, O.J. may have taken some wild shots, but he made a lot of them. I mean, you look at the players in the NBA from USC with Dwayne Dedman and DeMar. How about DeMar DeRozan? Has he been unbelievable? And Taj Gibson and Mayo, Nick Young. And how about Vucevic? Vucevic has been sensational in the NBA. I mean, I thought he was going to be a good player, good pro, but, I mean, he's been a dominant player.
Reinhardt didn't get the bounce. He hit his first shot. He hasn't hit another since, but nobody has for SC. Nikola Jovanovic with a foul. That's his third. Andy Enfield has all kinds of work to do here in the second half because now his lead is down to 2.
I think Andy Enfield's trying to figure out with Nikola Jovanovic, how he can get him going. And he really has not played up to expectation, you know, for a guy that's a terrific all-around player each of the first 2 games. And he needs to get it going for this team to be good. There's no question about that. Knocked down on the 3.
So he'll go to the line and shoot 3 free throws. Andy Enfield was right there to help the referees make the call. Tennessee Tech is back within 2 points. SC's biggest lead has been 13. McLaughlin continues to make free throws. He's 3 of 5 now.
He's got a great rotation on the ball. And the thing you love about the way he shoots free throws, he kind of leans toward the rim after he finishes his free throw. He doesn't fade away from the foul line. So really important for McLaughlin to get off to another good start, solid at the line. And it looks like the Trojans, if this one goes down, may be an opportunity to press, extend their defense, and see if they can create a turnover.
SC is living at the free throw line now, but second one no good by McLaughlin. SC is 11 for 18 from the line.
And back in their zone again. You get a great look at it. Like a 1-2-2 zone, trying to force some outside jumpers.
Back to the top for more. They have a lot of time left. Shot clock's just now at 10. Rowe. Lefty from the wing for 3. Pulled down by McLaughlin, and of course, he wants to run. Shovels it back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt always looking to attack.
I like Reinhardt when he puts the ball on the deck to make a play. You know, normally he's a guy that wants to shoot the perimeter jumper, but it's good that he took it to the rim. He's got to find a way to get to the foul line a little bit more. That was a positive, solid, proactive move by Reinhardt. He can handle it. And that time in traffic does a good job to draw the foul.
Reinhardt hit his first shot of the night at 3, and he's 0 for 6 since then. Reinhardt had 11 points opening night against Portland State. In the exhibition against Cal State LA, he had 13. He's always been a big scorer in high school. At Mater Dei High School, they went to the state title game. Won state 2 times in a row. He had 30 points in the final.
Trojans back in the zone again. To my recollection, Tennessee Tech has maybe made 1 3-point shot in this game. I only remember 1 going down.
Tennessee Tech is 1 for 13.
They're 1 for 13. So, pretty good reason to stay in the defense. It's really worked and force some more perimeter shots.
And you can see that the Golden Eagles of Tennessee Tech don't even want to shoot that.
They're not too reticent looking to shoot it. Now, there's the trap. They really worked on that at practice. Good job that time by the Trojans.
McLaughlin finds Julian Jacobs in the corner. That's a 3.
Okay, what a difference. Here comes McLaughlin down. Here's the key phrase, under control. And does a nice job to get the ball to the corner for the 3. That's the way you draw it up.
And it's working on the scoreboard as well. A 7-0 run by the Trojans. Turnaround jump hook. Lon Caldwell, a little strong off the heel. SC's going to get it. And now the game is starting to turn back in favor of the Trojans. Here it is. Out of control. Easy pass.
Yeah, easy pass. And, of course, Jacobs, you know, he gets a good chance to square up that time. And, you know, it's kind of no one near him type of a 3. But, you know, give him props. He got it down.
You know what I loved about McLaughlin is in the first half, even though he was struggling, and we saw this in the second half, opening night against Portland State, when Andy Enfield brought him to the sideline and put his arm around him, he listened. He was calm. He was nodding. He's a coachable kid. Some of these kids, even if they know they're doing wrong, they don't want to hear it. They get emotional. Blake Martin has got 3 points now. 38-27 SC, 16 and a half to play.
Yeah, great to see Martin get a score around the rim.
Oh, that's a beautiful pass inside. Flush by Charles Jackson. Alexei Hugovich for Tennessee Tech.
You just got a feeling that Hugovich just understands how to play.
It's that European style. I just like the way they play in Europe. Sharing the basketball, being a little cagey, a little cheeky with it. Reinhardt, cross-court pass, intercepted. Hugovich out front against He had Malik Barton right next to him. He did not want to challenge him. Here comes Reinhardt. Reinhardt lost the handle. In a dead spot on the parquet. And an offensive foul.
The climate.
Yeah.
You know, if you're good enough, you're going to go.
Yeah, it's a new world order.
Yes, it is.
Collegiate sports.
Yes, it is. But the Pac-12 conference is much, much better and more competitive than it ever has been. And and the other thing that is impressive to me, it sure didn't take Colorado and Utah long to be really competitive. You know, I mean, they are right up there in the top half of the Pac-12 conference right now. Preseason.
You and I have done a lot of games in Boulder. That's a fun place to go watch a game.
Well, they're sold out every game.
In
Boulder, they're sold out for every game.
And now they're showing up at the Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City to watch that crew. I get a chance to Utah later this week, so I'm actually really looking forward to that trip. 38-31 SC. We're 5 minutes into the second half. SC started out this half with 7-0 run to rebuild their lead.
And Tennessee Tech zoning now also. So you have patience.
Clark got fouled. He thought he got fouled when he received the pass, and then he turned and got bumped again.
And what I like what Clark's doing when he does receive the ball inside, he is looking to go ahead and maybe pitch it back out to the open three-point shooter. I mean, he's got pretty good vision. He's not trying to force it all the way to the rim.
Foul was on Josiah Moore of Tennessee Tech, and that's his third. They go back down to Clark, so SC is trying to feed number 0 inside. He got knocked down again. Enfield thought it was a foul. Enfield is lobbying for it. They're going to let him play here.
Yeah, Jackson may not block the shot, but he's going to alter it. He's played pretty good defense inside. I mean, he's a high riser, and you just can't take it straight at him.
Caldwell has picked up his third foul for Tennessee Tech, so now this is becoming an issue for the Golden Eagles.
So they may zone more with Caldwell picking up 3 fouls, because certainly you don't want him out of the game if you're Steve Payne. You want to keep Caldwell in as long as possible, but he may get targeted if they go back man-to-man.
You know, ironically, Tennessee Tech actually could be a role model for SC. Tennessee Tech 2 years ago won 12 games. SC won 11 last year. Last year, Tennessee Tech got back to the Ohio Valley tournament.
Right, they won 17 and were 9-7 in the league.
Yeah,
so
just a couple of wins away from getting to the NCAA tournament.
Well, you got to build it. We talked about it. You know, for the Trojans, it's at least 3 years. You've got to have 3 recruiting classes, and then you're ready to roll.
Hugovich to Jackson, then Caldwell. Foul came before that shot. Steve Payne is saying, no, count the basket. We should get the basket.
And they may get the basket.
Now they're going to call a foul on Jackson's shot before Caldwell got to the putback. That's what they're explaining.
Yeah, then no basket. They're just going to give 2 shots and call it the act of shooting.
Steve Payne was the assistant for many years, associate head coach at Tennessee Tech. And Mike Sutton, the head coach, came down with a terrible illness and ended up leaving the team for an entire season. That was 2005. And so Steve Payne ran the club, ended up being the Ohio Valley Coach of the Year, and was a finalist for the Mid-Major Coach of the Year. And he's been pretty much running the program ever since, and now in his 4th season as the head coach. But you would have to think that this opportunity coming out here to Los Angeles and playing SC, and now having a chance to win this game, pretty tantalizing. Here it is again. That's where they called the foul before Caldwell's putback. So the question, what they're looking at, is to find out if this is a 2-shot foul. And it is going to be 2 shots.
It should be noted, too, that anytime a referee goes over to a monitor, many times in the facility there are more cameras available to the replays than we are seeing.
Yeah, 2 more.
Yeah, so
and we don't see it.
And we don't see it.
Which I actually think is good for the referees. It gives them a bit of privacy, gives them those different angles to look at, because we don't always know what they're looking for. You know, we're downstream from all of that. And if you're putting that up on the big screen and talking heads like ourselves see it, maybe we misinterpret exactly what they're looking at. It's got to be frustrating for refs. I know, Danny, like I have, you've gotten on an airplane after a game times and run into a referee, and he'll say, "Didn't you know what we were looking at on that play?" And, you can't know everything.
And in the meantime, Tennessee Tech makes a free throw and still has the ball as the second one goes out of bounds off of USC.
Thomas all the way inside, tossed it up, it danced around. Who else but Jackson gets there, and Elijah Stewart for SC. Those two get tangled up.
Yeah, Jackson's been a dominant force for the Golden Eagles, especially in the second half. I mean, he's rising to the occasion. He's getting a piece of it at both ends of the floor.
So on the possession arrow, goes over to SC. Fouls and turnovers going to be important down the stretch. SC had 23 turnovers opening night against Portland State. They have 14 to this point against Tennessee Tech. And nice backdoor cut. That was pretty basketball by USC. Gavrilovic finishes it with the left.
Good things happen when you play without the ball. And Gavrilovic at times just, kind of running in the right direction and made himself available. But that's the way you play.
Yeah, pass and move. Hugovic got it down to Caldwell, who scores. Caldwell's having a decent night, isn't he?
Well, Caldwell, he had 6 in the first half, but he's been big in the second half. I mean, they went right to him the first 2 or 3 times down the floor.
He's got 9 points. They have him with just 3 rebounds. I think he might have 1 or 2 more than that. At least he's caused them, maybe with tips. Hugovic, and he's got an option here. Step over, throw it up, count it. And look at the Tennessee Tech bench. Top of your screen, they're eating it up.
Now, Hugovic has played well. And in the open court, I mean, he's really done a nice job. I mean, they're converting defense to offense. And now you look inside. Here's that little screen and roll. I mean, the little movement without the ball. And a good job by Gavrilovic. And then Hugovic all the way to the other. So kind of a Serbian highlight reel right there as Gavrilovic just does a good job, and then Hugovic, rather, in the open court, rather, does a good job.
Serbian highlight reel?
Yeah, it's a Serbian highlight reel.
Well, once again, it's a game 42-36, and Hugovic at the line can bring it back within 5. Alexa Hugovic, he's the starting point guard right now on the Serbian under-18 team. Great shooter. And by the end of the year, he might be their best outside weapon. Reinhardt looking for space. He tried to run a little roll there with Jovanovic, but Tennessee Tech defended it well. Now SC's in a bit of trouble. They still have a lot of time and nothing going here, no rhythm. Reinhardt across the top, cut off.
Give it right to now. Jovanovic is open.
It's Reinhardt, and get a pretty good look out of it. Off the heel. Here come the Golden Eagles front court. Thomas back outside. Caldwell. It's a 2. In and out. Jovanovic and Jackson go to the floor. Cage fighting underneath. Look at Jackson get up with a grin on his face. He's got people in the house. He's a Sacramento kid, so not too far.
Yeah, this is just what you call competitive rebounding. And certainly Jackson got right back in there because Jovanovic had it. And Jackson just went after it. He's got his family in the stands. Everybody, he's had a great trip here to Southern California. And he's really come on the second half. He's really played well.
I'll tell you what, after the last baseball season, you got a lot of guts wearing a San Francisco logo in this town. And that guy was wearing 2 of them. That is brave. Jackson to Caldwell underneath, and a block by Clark, and a foul on Darian Clark.
He's unselfish, isn't he? I mean, you look at Charles Jackson, and I thought he had an opportunity to take it all the way to the rack. But, man, I mean, he does a nice job with the peripheral vision to find his teammate Caldwell inside, and Caldwell will get back to the foul line.
That's pretty stuff. I like when the bigs pass on the interior. And first, Jackson popped out to spread that defense, open up the seam.
I think Caldwell's a little bit, he's got 10 points in the game. I think he's a little bit challenged at the line. He shoots like a knuckleball. Watch, there's really no rotation. It's hard to shoot a basketball the way he's shooting it because there's no rotation on the ball.
Yeah, it's a knuckleball.
It's a knuckleball. But you know what?
It made it. Yeah. They don't ask how, they just ask how many.
Don't change it.
Tennessee Tech on a 7-0 run. It's a one-possession game with 12-12 to play. And Caldwell's going to get a little break before they bring him back in for the stretch.
Well, he's got 3 fouls, so you maybe want to. It's kind of a not for long break, you know, maybe about a minute and a half,
yeah,
2 minutes.
Let's mark it, see if he comes in before the 10-minute mark. Ivanovic missed the short hook. Picked up inside, Josiah Moore. He's playing with 3 fouls.
Ivanovic just has not had any confidence in not being really active going all the way to the rack. I mean, he's kind of settling for the mid-range shot when he can take it all the way in.
That beautiful play. Reverse layup and count it. 12 points.
And a good pass by McGraw.
To play. SC's lead has been down to 2. It's been as big as 13. Tennessee Tech has never led. Caden Reinhardt finishing off a 3-point play. Pretty work by him. Reinhardt's into double figures, so Reinhardt has 10 and McLaughlin has 10. I'll give Reinhardt 11 now with the free throw.
And back in the zone again are the Trojans. 1 of 13 from 3, Tennessee Tech.
Somehow Mason Ramsey able to get that ball back, and he just volleyed it to Charles Jackson, and CJ scores, and he's in double figures. "11 minutes now to play. This is where it went sideways for SC against Portland State on opening night. McLaughlin throws it up and in. You can count it.
That's a great individual move by McLaughlin that time, spinning and moving, going hard to the rim. He's got that little floater down and got the nice roll, picked up the foul, back to the line.
Well, he's not a big kid. They list him at 6'1", so he's probably...
He plays bigger.
Yep. But he's had that shot for a long time, because even in the high school level now, you're playing against guys that are 6'8", 6'9", 6'10".
I think the hard thing from McLaughlin is, he's a scorer, but you're also asking him to kind of set everybody up and distribute the ball. So now it's kind of multitasking, and it's not that he can't do it. Probably never had to do it in the past. Never called upon to do it.
Would you rather see him at the 2?
Well, he's probably a 2 that's forced into playing the point. But I mean, the guy is so talented, and you can put a bigger team on the floor that he's going to learn. By the time the conference rolls around, he'll be a different player with the ball than he is right now.
Josiah Moore knocked to the floor as he drives to the hoop. Darian Clark for SC.
I mean, if you look at the 5 that the Trojans have on the floor, I mean, they've got a big team. And really the only pure guard is McLaughlin.
3rd foul on Darian Clark, so he's going to go to the SC bench. Tennessee Tech at the free throw line tonight, 8 for 14. You and I have always talked about free throws when we work games together, and how in single-digit games you can go back and look at that free throw line, and sometimes that's the decider.
Yeah, you better shoot them well in the last 5 minutes. And if your bigs can shoot free throws, it makes a tremendous difference.
What should a big shoot? 70%?
Well, yeah, I think I'd settle for that.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good, right?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
You take it.
No, it's not like Josh Scott at Colorado, because he shoots like 82%, which is a great advantage to have a big guy like that on the floor. Of course, he's a terrific all-around player.
A lot of time this game will be decided down the stretch, because Tennessee Tech is right in it. That could have been goaltending.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Martin got that on the way up. I'm sure Tennessee Tech feels like it's goaltending, but I thought that was a pretty good no call.
Well, their bench exploded like they were sitting on springs as he gives it back on the travel. All right, Danny, is it at the apex?
Well, it's the hardest. It's a very difficult call, but I kind of thought that ball was on the way up. And what happens is a lot of times you just don't see bigs blocking shots that are really active, like Martin. And when they do get a very good block shot, people think automatically it's a goaltend. But when you look at it again, if that ball's still going up, you can get it.
All right, one more look. This is a better angle.
Yeah.
Didn't hit the glass.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, it was close. Yeah, on the second look. Yeah, it was. Well, at home it's not. On the road it's goaltending. Let's just put it that way.
Well, it washed out because SC turned it over anyway. 16 turnovers for the Trojans. Up and under by Moore, wouldn't go. The putback by Dwan Caldwell. And Poe now has brought Tennessee Tech back within 4.
You know the thing about Caldwell, great hands. I mean, he goes up, once he secures the ball, he knows how to get it back up and in.
And he's 16.
He's a powerhouse. The guy's a powerhouse.
16 offensive rebounds for Tennessee Tech. 16.
So, and people say, well, why is Tennessee Tech getting so many offensive rebounds? And here again, position. And Caldwell, see, when he gets it, he is just strong to the rack. He's just a big, good jumping, hard-nosed player that just understands the game. And his maturity really, he's an older guy, and he just knows how to play. And the 16 offensive rebounds, the Trojans go into that zone. And many times you don't have that man-to-man responsibility to screen out your guy. You're in the zone. You need to go up and get it. And sometimes there's empty space there. And the offensive guy has, if the ball bounces right, pretty good position to get the rebound. And this is a good offensive rebounding Tennessee Tech team. They got some size.
And they got guys who are hungry, which is just as important. Guys who want to go get it. Tennessee Tech is only picked to finish 4th in the East Division of the Ohio Valley Conference. They play in the same division as Belmont. The Belmont Bruins almost always make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they sure do. Well, Belmont's been good for many, many years. Murray State has a good team this year also. So, the Ohio Valley's very competitive.
Thomas from the top. Been a while since they hit an outside jumper, and he said he was hit on the arm tonight. And he's not necessarily going to get better game to game, but over the course of 5 or 10 games, you're going to see that arc. And he's going to be, well, Andy Enfield used to work on Wall Street, right? Trending upward.
Well, there's a lot on McLaughlin's plate. He had to handle the press that time, did that well. He's got to set the offense. Got to decide when to shoot, when not. So it's going to take time. Well, Jackson came from a long ways away. He didn't think he goaltended that one either, but it was called. And that might be Jovanovich's first score of the game. Yeah. See if he got this one. Oh, he hit him. I don't know. I kind of like block shots. I like no calls.
You were trying to talk yourself into it. You never got there.
I know. I'm always for the guy who blocks.
I'll tell you, I had some question about it on the replay myself. That's a tough call for a referee.
Well, you can't pin it up on the glass if it's near the rim. I mean, you can't do that.
Thomas from the top for 3. Rebound again inside. 17 offensive rebounds. Dwan Caldwell makes it 52-48. Caldwell's got 15 points. That's high for the game, either side. Taken away. And here comes Tennessee Tech. They cut it to a 1-possession game.
Yeah, I would bet you go right back to Caldwell. He's at the top now. And you've got Hugovich right in the corner ready for a 3. Hugovich is just saying, can you throw it in the corner, please?
And there's Hugovich. They've made 1 3-pointer. They still are 1 for 15 from 3, and they're still in the game.
Hugovich was shooting the ball about 10 seconds before he got it.
You called it before you even caught it. Reinhardt, the runner, in and out. Yes, he can't buy one again. They went 10.5 minutes in the first half. The last 10:38 of the half without a basket. Hugovich walked. And Pac-12 now. You were mentioning that Wayne Tinkle's son is now playing for the Beavs. His daughter was a star at Stanford for Tara Vanderveer.
Yeah, remember that well. I mean, what a family. And Wayne's going to do a great job at Oregon State. I'm convinced of that. Now, that's, every time that Andy Enfield has called a timeout, that was a fine pass, good recognition by McLaughlin to get it inside for the score. Good things have happened. So when you take the timeout, you draw it up, his players are going out there and responding.
Clark got the bucket. He has 7 points for SC. Lead is back to 6.
I think if you're the Trojans, back off it. see if they can make it out. So they haven't made one. Boy, they made one all night.
Tennessee Tech shot 17 three-pointers a game last year. McLaughlin.
Yeah, that was a great no call by the official in the midcourt area.
Yeah, he had the advantage. Let him go.
And let him go. McLaughlin got the steal, and Tennessee Tech smartly, here's the steal, and you know they wanted the foul in that area, but no call, and McLaughlin took it all the way in for the layup.
Now Tennessee Tech needs to answer.
I'm sure the Trojans want to back down on this defense and get in front of Caldwell. Don't let him receive the ball. He or Jackson.
There's Jackson, and there's Caldwell. Both guys touched it.
Jackson just has a nice feel. Jackson's a terrific passer. I mean, it's happened more than once. Every time he gets it inside, he's got that little shuffle pass, and he's got the good vision. He and Caldwell work well together, down on the low block.
17 points now for Caldwell. Leading scorer in the game. Here they come again. Down 6. More to the basket. Nobody stopped ball. And Jackson bails out Tennessee Tech. He got right up on the rim, puts his hands up. Did some community service, serving meals at a shelter for kids, and held a basketball camp. And Steve Payne admitted, he said, I put him in a hotel with no air conditioning. I wanted these guys to suffer just a little bit, playing 2 games a day, doing camps, doing community service. Wanted to bond them a little bit.
Well, and they had a good trip. I think they won 4 or 5.
They sure did
on that trip.
Julian Jacobs.
How do you like Julian Jacobs?
He did that the other night. He went in, it looked like he was going to lay it in. He turned it over and flushed it. He does it again. 5 minutes to go, 6-point lead.
That got me a little excited. Now, that's a strong move to the rack. Take it in, Julian, and finish it.
Yeah, and that's the one you'll remember walking out to the car, right? Because it was a surprise.
No, I'm going to remember the shot block that was called goaltending.
More. They throw it up now, and they're expecting Jackson to go get it every time. Andy Enfield, here's something you're not going to see Enfield do very often. He said, hold it up. You want to run? Wants to set the offense. Down to Jovanovic. He's fouled and go to the right. So that's what they wanted. They wanted to take it to the block.
Well, this is just a strong move to take it all the way to the rim by Julian Jacobs. Let's take it all the way down and let's finish it. And then I thought McLaughlin, under control, made a real nice pass inside to Jovanovic, who gets fouled. So I think now, you're in a little bit better place if you can make a free throw or two to solidify this game. I mean, you're only up 6, but the last couple of possessions have been really good for the Trojans.
Foul was on Charles Jackson. That's 3. So that might be critical. We're still 4.5 minutes to play. Meantime, SC is 19 for 27, now 20 for 28 from the free throw line. So they're shooting 71 plus from the line. Not bad. That's not how you put games away. All the way to the corner, Torrance Rowe. Now back to the top to Poe. Rowe and Poe didn't get much on that side. SC with the block. Here's Reinhardt.
Again, a good pass by McLaughlin.
Reinhardt's got 14.
Reinhardt can run the floor. I mean, when he's under control, he's a finisher. I mean, he can take it to the rack with the best of them and does a good job in the open court.
Big guy, too, 6'6", 210.
He's a little deceptive. You don't think he's that quick, but he is. When he starts going,
he can cover ground.
You bet he can.
SC trying to put this thing away, but sliding through and scoring again is Caldwell. Give him 19.
He's putting a clinic on how to play the post for a 6'8". He's a little bit of an undersized post guy at 6'8".
And remember, he's from Los Angeles, but you pointed out before, he didn't even play basketball in high school. He was a football player, and then he was working at a Walmart, and then he went to junior college, and then he transferred. So an odyssey to find himself in Cookeville, Tennessee, a town of 35,000, playing for the Golden Eagles of Tennessee Tech. Clark inside. Jackson took a swipe at him and got his money's worth.
A much better effort here in their second game with that backcourt combination in terms of team play and making everybody else better than happened the other night against Portland State.
One of the epiphanies for a young player is not just winning on your good nights, but learning how to win on your bad nights. And here's a guy, Caden Reinhardt, who's 3 for 12 from the field. He missed 8 shots in a row, but he didn't get down on himself. He backed up his teammates. He waited for the game to come back to him, and now he's contributing here down the stretch.
Well, I think Reinhardt, too, he's an energizer. You know, he's got a great attitude. He works hard. And, you know, he's had some shots that he normally will make. But the fact is, continue to play defense, run the floor, see if he can finish, you know, continue to try to help your teammates, and that's what he's done.
Meantime, on the missed free throw, Nikola Jovanovic for SC is called for his 4th foul. Jackson walks to the other end. Jackson already with a double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Misses the front end, but they're lucky. He got the rebound. Javon McKay chased it out to the sideline. 3 minutes exactly.
Now, if you're the Trojans, you might as well back all the way down and just kind of invite Tennessee Tech. Give them all the time. Well, they turn it over. They just have not handled it well on the outside. And I thought Steve Payne said that's an area they're going to have to improve upon. That's guard playing Reinhardt.
Right on key.
Right on cue. Wide open. Great rotation on it. Squared himself up. Proactive, looking to really kind of put an exclamation point on this one.
And now SC has its largest lead of the second half. They led by 13 in the first half. In the second half, their lead got down to 2. There's Caldwell missing. Darian Clark in the corner, and now SC can burn clock if they want. Julian Jacobs thought about it. I think he thought about it twice.
Well, makes a good decision. I think the idea of the burning the clock right here is an excellent one. And you got to go under control.
Back to the top, McLaughlin. Could have been the dagger. SC gets the rebound. Reinhardt's going down. 67-54, 2 minutes to play, and Caden Reinhardt has 19 points.
Yeah, Reinhardt's in rhythm now. You know, he's got it going. You would think maybe the Trojans would back it up on a little bit of clock, but you know, why not if it's Reinhardt with the ball? I thought McLaughlin had a good shot. You know, it didn't go down, but he had a good shot.
Fouls on Julian Jacobs. This is a guy who isn't going to get talked to as much as guys like McLaughlin and Reinhardt and some of these bigger name front guys. But Julian Jacobs is in the starting lineup. Last year, averaged 7 and 4, but he played in all 32 games. And SC needs these kind of guys. These pluggers, these guys are going to do some of the harder work. We already saw him drive down the lane and flush that ball. He's got big hops. He can get rebounds at both ends.
And you need guys to, take the challenge defensively and go out when you're playing, a very good team that has a couple of primetime players. You need a guy like Jacobs to take that challenge and come out and play defense. So,
last year, Julian Jacobs, among Pac-12 freshmen, was 2nd in steals and assists and 4th in blocks. Yet not a lot of people talked about it because he didn't score a lot of points. He is a contributor. 67-55. Darian Clark went to the SC bench and got a nice round of applause. Doing some work inside against the bigs for Tennessee Tech, Caldwell and Jackson.
Now, Tennessee Tech's going to go small now.
And Stanford is pretty much unbeatable at Maples Pavilion. That's 28 in a row on the farm. Wow, that's a great win. Reinhardt knocks it away as he gets it. Foul committed with $1:30 to play. And you can see Tennessee Tech now starting to accept their fate. But also in their minds, they're thinking how close they came.
They cut it to what, 2? And, had some chances. And certainly the Trojans coming out of a timeout really responded with about 5 or 6 minutes left in the second half. And I thought had some excellent possessions and really put this game away.
Elijah Stewart at the line. Stewart with just a couple of points tonight. He had 5 on opening night. He'll find his place on this team as well. Stewart's going to the bench. Clark's going to come back in. As he's going to get big at the defensive end. It'll be fun to watch Elijah Stewart mature with this team. Freshman from Louisiana. SC has shot 32 free throws in this game. They made 22 from the corner.
That's been
get it to fall.
That's been the story all night for Tennessee Tech.
1 for 16, Tennessee Tech from the three-point line. 1 for 16. Well, I told you that they shot 17 three-pointers a game last year. They shot 33%. It's not a good number. In their season opener, a game in which they won by 50 points, they were 4 for 15. So add them together, and what are they? 5 for 31. Jovanovic makes the free throw. He's got a half dozen tonight and 3 rebounds. Tennessee Tech now with 4 guys with 4 fouls, but they're running out of time.
Well,
running out of road.
And Tennessee Tech, when you said 5 of 31 from 3, all of a sudden you start scouting guys, and they're probably going to see a lot of zones. Let's face it.
Bet. Poe, 1 for 16, 1 for 17. Rebound by Shermaine Thomas. He throws it in with 55 seconds.
Got a home schedule where they can do some damage. You also have Vermont coming in before they open the conference, at Utah, at Colorado, which I think may be the toughest swing in the conference this year.
You bet it is.
At Utah, Colorado.
Elevation.
It's going to be really difficult.
2 great teams.
Yeah,
you're right.
It's going to be difficult to get a win when you make that swing.
The Arizona trip's not going to be anything to cash in either. I mean, you're going to look at Arizona's top 2, top 3 in the country. Sendek's always tough at home.
Arizona may win the national championship this year. I mean,
calling
they are that. No, I'm not calling it.
Okay.
I'm saying they are that good.
Well, when you're ready to call it, you let me know.
I think Arizona Duke in the finals.
20 seconds.
That's my call.
Okay.
That's a championship game.
Kentucky's out.
I'm going Arizona Duke championship game.
Taken away by the Golden Eagles here. 10 seconds, last trip up court. Got a chance here to make it a 9-point difference with a 3. And once again, they miss. 1 for 18. They will finish this game from 3. Caldwell tosses up the last shot. It dances off. Tennessee Tech gave a good account of themselves, but Andy Enfield and the SC Trojans win their first game of the year. For Andy Enfield, his 12th victory as the head coach at SC. Next up, they're going to hit the road, the Charleston Classic, and start Thursday against Akron. Tennessee Tech is going home to play Chattanooga on Saturday. Second half run by SC. They went on a 14-4 run over a 4-minute period, and that broke it open. Turned a 4-point game into a 14-point lead, and Tennessee Tech had no answer. SC shoots the 34 free throws, 24 for 34 from the free throw line. And turnovers, well, we said 23 on opening night was too many. They had to cut that down. They had 11 at halftime today. They ended up with only 6 in the second half. 17 turnovers for USC tonight. That's not bad. So all the numbers fell into place for USC. But the number they like most, 1. 1 victory. They are now 1-1 on the young season. That'll do it for your producer.
Good evening and welcome to Pac-12 Sports Report. Thank you for staying up with us. I'm fairly sure you made the right choice. We'll see.
We asked for more than an hour this week because there's simply too much good stuff going on in the Conference of Champions right now that we think you'll want to see and hear.
But with our late kickoff tonight, we're up against JB's bedtime, so we'll just have to move quickly to get through it all.
Volleyball upsets, golden goals in soccer, and the opening